The surprise episode has literally surprised all the Bluey fans, and it's all because of one character. I think you all know who I'm talking about. Of course, I'm talking about Bluey's baby. It's basically confirmed that Bluey will have a baby in the future, but everyone is wondering who's the father of the baby and when this will happen. In this video, these are the questions we're going to answer. So, without any delay, let's dive right into the video. In the surprise episode, right at the end, we can see an adult Bluey visiting Chili and Bandit in the same house where she and Bingo grew up, the one they almost sold in the episode, The Sign. After Bandit opens the door and doesn't see anyone, he hears a sound that reminds him of a toy used by Bluey when she was little to hunt her father around the house. Immediately, Bandit knew what that meant. He was once again a hunting target. And at that moment, we see the little puppy using a toy very similar to the one Bluey used years before, hidden by the door, very excited since he was about to catch his prey. And immediately upon seeing this, the first thing I thought was, whose baby is this? Right at the beginning of the episode, we start getting hints that one of the themes of the episode would be children. Bluey asked Chili in the first scene if she's going to have kids, to which Chili responds that it depends on her if she wants to. Right after, to reinforce the theme of the video, we see Bingo also wanting to play mommy, and she starts imagining several little children that Bandit needs to take care of for her. At the same time, she tries to escape from Bluey's ball gun, but without much success. At a certain point, we see Bluey doing the same thing as the new puppy, using the doorbell to lure her father into a trap and hit him with even more balls. And if you look closely, the two scenes are practically identical, with the only difference being that Bandit is much older, and the character inside the toy costume isn't Bluey. Of course, this was intentional, and clearly wanted to show that it was a new healer baby, not Bingo's, but Bluey, who had just arrived and brought her baby with her to visit the grandparents. Another point that reinforces the blood connection of this puppy with the healers is the color of its fur and other parts of its body. For example, we can notice that the inside of the puppy's ears is yellow, just like Bluey's. Moreover, the tips of its feet and hands are light blue like Bluey. Also, our guess is that he's a male puppy because he has many characteristics that strongly resemble both his grandfather Bandit and Stripe. Like, for example, we can see that he has very fluffy fur on his cheeks, just like Bandit had when he was just a little puppy too, albeit a bit older. Another detail is that his colors strongly resemble Stripe's and Nana's colors, who have fur more towards a light purple. Moreover, if you look closely, you'll notice that Bluey's son has one ear down and one up, just like Stripe when he was a little puppy. So, it's really confirmed that he's Bluey's baby and Bandit's grandson. But here the question arises, who's the father of this little pup? There are simply thousands of fan arts posted on the internet about Bluey getting married and having puppies with two potential candidates, Jean-Luc and Mackenzie. And we're sure that one of them is really the father of this puppy. And now it's time to find out which of the two we think is Bluey's husband. First, let's talk about Jean-Luc. He's the only boy we see in future moments with Bluey at the end of the camping episode, where he shows up unexpectedly after years without seeing our protagonist, and we see them both getting very happy and wagging their tails in excitement. But Bluey was not necessarily excited enough to want to date Jean-Luc. After all, she considered him a friend. Of course, this could evolve into something bigger over time, but I think that would be very difficult to happen, since Jean-Luc only comes to Australia during his family's vacations, and he lives in Canada, from what it seems. And as we see, Bluey lives in Australia, probably in Brisbane too, so much so that she decided to drop by her parents' house because she must have had some free time at work, or maybe it was the weekend. If Bluey married Jean-Luc, she'd probably have to move countries, and that would certainly be nearly impossible, especially after the end of The Sign episode, where we see that the whole family doesn't even want to leave that street or town, let alone the country. Moreover, despite the little puppy and Jean-Luc himself having their fur purple, we see that there's no other resemblance, like tail, snout, or ears. So it may well not be Jean-Luc's baby. But beside Jean-Luc, we've got another candidate. And of course, we're talking about Mackenzie, Bluey's classmate, and one of her best friends. Now, if you look closely, there are many similarities between Mackenzie and the little pup. If we look at the space episode, we see his younger version, The younger Mackenzie really has many traits like Bluey's son. They both have fluffy cheek fur and also have one ear up and one down. Moreover, the snout of the new member of the Healer family looks much more like Mackenzie's snout than Bluey's. We can also see that Mackenzie's tail and Bluey's baby's tail are quite similar, fluffy, especially at the end. All these pieces of evidence really point to a great chance that the little new puppy in Bluey is indeed a result of the relationship between an adult Bluey and an adult Mackenzie. Apart from that, there are many other hints that have been dropped throughout the 3 seasons by the creators of Bluey. They clearly indicate there's a clear tendency for a relationship between the two characters. In the episode Fruit Bat, where we saw Mackenzie for the first time in Bluey's drawing, being the 8th episode of the series, he was the only non-family member of Bluey who appeared in her dreams. And before you say anything, Bandit's friends were in his dream, and kind of Bluey ended up there even without saying a single word, since he was sleeping. We see he has a certain prominence in Bluey's thoughts. This is also because the puppy, besides being Bluey's classmate, also lives relatively close to the Healer's house, as it becomes clear in the Curly episode, since you can walk there really. The episode where it becomes very clear that the idea has always been for the 2 puppies to form a pair in the future was in Barky Boats. Right at the beginning of the show, the 2 say the same phrase at the same time, and Winton doesn't let it go and says the 2 will get married. And of course, the 2 characters complain a lot about it. After all, they're still 6 years old, and don't think about that throughout the episode when the 2 are kind of abandoned by their older friends who are also interested in each other, but who are already 12 years old each. We see Teacher Calypso explain what was happening with Mia and Captain at that stage of life they were in, which is adolescence. But if you look closely, you'll notice that Calypso was also talking about the future of the 2 puppies, and that their lives could change a lot. But, in the end, they could very well end up together, just like the 2 boats that touch each other at the end, as if they were a couple. And since everyone knows that in Bluey, nothing is by chance, we can be sure that this prophecy is totally related to the character's future, and of course to the little puppy that appears at the end. Since the show hasn't confirmed it yet, we can't say for sure, but all the evidence indicates that the baby belongs to Bluey and Mackenzie. But it can also be possible that Bluey's husband may not be Mackenzie or Jean-Luc, it could be someone completely different. For now, all we can do is predict and theorize. Let's hope that in the new season 4 of Bluey, we will get answers to all our questions. So, what do you guys think? Who do you think Bluey's husband might be? Is it Jean-Luc? Or is it Mackenzie? Or is it someone completely different? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. And as always, we will see you guys in the next video.